Oops, I did it again. Welcome back, football fans, to another episode of the Prediction Show. This is Wednesday, Champions League, and yesterday, oops, it was another winner for the channel. And here it is. Well done if you got on that, and well done to this person as well. You have won a month of Odd Alerts Pro. Now, the same goes for this video. Just comment down below to enter for a draw, and on the next video it will be announced just as it was in this intro as well. Now, I'm going to make it easy for you again because I've got a question for you. Yesterday, most of you said Real Madrid will win the Champions League, and it's hard to argue against that. But today I want to ask you, who will get the furthest out of the English teams? There was a lack of English answers in yesterday's comments, yesterday's predictions, and not many people said Aston Villa, who won 2-0 last night. They were part of our winning double, and nice and easy does it for them. Professional job. And if you had Duran on to score as well as the double that we put together, well done. We will start this video by just taking a look at the results from last night, and then we'll jump on to today's games. Monaco against Red Star Belgrade, BTTS is what we had on for that as well, and 27 shots for Monaco, 5-1. That one was done and dusted for us in terms of BTTS by half-time. Milan 3-1. Winners against Club Brugge. Arsenal got the job done, but there is injuries. We will discuss that on the weekend's video, the Premier League predictions video that I'll do before the weekend, because Arsenal, they're not in the best of shape as they face Liverpool this weekend. Calafiori was the latest player to go off. Looks like he's twisted his knee. Juventus, I mean, this is an incredible result for Stuttgart. It really is, to go to Juventus and keep a clean sheet and score against Juventus, as we discussed yesterday. Incredible. 22 shots. There was a red card, of course, as you can see. Just one shot on target for Juventus. And I did mention yesterday that they are lacking that little bit of something at the top end of the pitch. Aston Villa 2, Bologna 0, PSG 1, PSV 1. And again, look, 26 shots for the home team, just 8 for PSV. That's all they needed. Girona with a nice win there. Real Madrid, we earmarked this one for BTTS, didn't we? Dortmund now, 8 of the last 10 games in all competitions have ended with BTTS landing. They were 2-0 up at half-time and shouting about it on social media, as you can see here. Sporting got the job done as well, 2-0, and we looked at their data yesterday and saw that they'd scored 2 or more goals in 9 of the last 10, and they continued that trend. So well done if you used any of the data that we went through yesterday and applied it to these games. Without further ado, let's move on to Wednesday's games. And for those who missed it yesterday, here is the intro.
Football drives our hearts. Data plays its part. Value bets we seek with Joe from OddAlerts.com.
So it's not just European games today, we have championship action. And what I'm going to do is do some research on these games. And if you want to see what I'm on for these games, just head over to the Telegram bot that I launched yesterday. You can see it right here. It uses the bet slip generator API that I showed you yesterday in yesterday's video and feeds in randomized bet slips based on high probability into that channel. And I'll also post in some updates to the website as well. If you're in the Discord, by the way, if you're an Odd Alerts Pro user, this will be in the Discord as well, of course. But if you just want an isolated place for these automated bet slips, then this is the channel for you. So championship action, and I will get onto that after I've finished recording this video. But first, let's move on to the Champions League and let's take a look at the fixtures we have today. We start with Brest. It's always good to start with Brest. Stop it. Stop that. Now, as we can see, the Brest is not that big in terms of home win probability, just 23.5%. Bayer Leverkusen, of course, expected to win this game. Favourites for this game, Atalanta Celtic. In a previous Champions League video on the channel, we had a winner with them, didn't we? Over 2.5 goals. They have seen it in 9 out of the last 10 games, as we looked at yesterday, so that'll be an interesting one to look at. We'll take a deeper look at some of these games in a moment. Young Boys against Inter Milan. Inter Milan firm favourites for that one, as you would expect, and the same goes for Man City against Sparta Praha. I think what we might do on this one is take a look at the player props tool as well, because last time City played, we had Foden to score or assist in a similar type of game. I mean, City, in these types of games, you expect them to score 3-4 goals, especially at home. So we'll take a look at that. Foden could be an option. Doku could be an option. As always with Pep, roulette, it just depends on who's actually on the pitch. Salzburg, Zagreb, bit more evenly matched, although Salzburg are the favourites with the probability model. Benfica, Feyenoord should be a belter of a game. We'll take a look at the data there. And then the game of the night, for sure, is Barcelona against Bayern Munich. Flick against his former team. Barcelona absolutely smashing it at the moment. They had an off result in La Liga a few weeks ago, but they were rotating and resting. When their full team is fit and firing, they are a joy to watch. Lewandowski scoring goals for fun. I mean, he's scoring all the time. He scored a first half hat-trick the other week, and then he backed it up with another double in the first half. He's on fire. Barcelona are on fire, and now Bayern Munich are coming to town after losing at Aston Villa. Remember, this is not a low-pressure game for these Munich players and for Vincent Kompany in his first campaign as a Champions League manager. What are your predictions for this one? Get your comments in. Remember, every comment automatically entered into a draw to win Odd Alerts Pro, which includes some of the features I'm going to show you. It includes a probability model that you're seeing right here. You can filter on this. You can say, show me all games in the world for the next 5 days with over 2.5 goals probability of 70% or more, and you'll get the games just like that in a second. Atletico Madrid against Lille. Win expected, maybe 1-0, 2-0 win. Similar vibe, really, to the Aston Villa game yesterday. And then Leipzig, Liverpool. We will take a look at that one as well. Liverpool, a few of you were actually feeling Liverpool for the Champions League yesterday in the comments. I've asked you today who is going to get the furthest out of the English teams. Let me know, because I'm a little bit torn. We've obviously got Arsenal, Liverpool, City and Villa. I just can't see past Villa getting to at least the quarters or the semis. With Emery, the way he plays, the way he sets up his teams, that performance against Munich as well, and the atmosphere at Villa Park, absolute top-notch. So we'll use a stats scroller here just to change to the odds so we can just see, what we're working with in terms of what we could potentially put together. So BTTS 1.62 for Atalanta Celtic seems very good at the moment, given the way Celtic are playing. The only thing is, after you've had a couple of results like that, Celtic lost 7-1, didn't they? The next game you play, which is also away from home, you're going to be sure to not let that happen again. So that'll be the priority for Celtic, to keep it tight. That doesn't necessarily mean they can or they will. The bookies are obviously expecting Atalanta to win this game at 1.44. Inter Milan 1.36, over 2.5 goals 1.57, not a bad option potentially. Over 2.5 goals 1.3 for Man City. That is actually higher than I thought. Obviously it's still pretty low in terms of the odds, but it's higher than I predicted it would be. Salzburg against Dynamo Zagreb 1.75, and if we just compare that to the probability model is giving them around 1.87, so not too much difference there. Benfica Feyenoord 1.62 as well for BTTS. I'm quite liking the look of a BTTS double there. Barcelona versus Bayern. The bookies here are struggling to call this one. 2.38 and 2.7. BTTS very, very low. 1.33 and over 2.5 goals as well. 1.36. Too low for me, but we will set an alert on this one. So let's set an alert on the Barcelona game. We will go over 2.5 goals. Let me know if it hits 1.8 and I will go in and investigate. If you've watched this channel for a while, you'll know that there is unintentional rhymes. I rhyme things unintentionally all the time. Did that rhyme? Was that not in sync? Rhyme time? I don't know. Let me know. Europa League action tonight, just a couple of games because the majority are being played tomorrow, of course. Now, if you want me to do a video on that, just let me know by liking, subscribing, commenting. If there's 500 likes, as I said yesterday, I'll do another video, and here I am. So where should we start, team? As I say, it's always best to start with the Brest, so we will start with the Brest. So we'll fly through some data points here for these teams. Whatever I find, I will just cut to it and just, hopefully you find it interesting. So in terms of the last 25 games, when looking at home form and away form, we can see here Bayer Leverkusen scoring 2.18 per game. And in terms of shots taken, no surprise here, this is the top 5 in terms of shots in the last 10 games. Shots taken, City, Munich, Sporting, PSG and Leverkusen as well. No surprise there. Also here as well, interestingly, Brest are 5th for offsides for their opponents, which makes me think they play with a high line. It's usually a very good indication. And look at that, by the way, for Barcelona, 66. That is incredible. The next highest is 30. And the highest in the Premier League, just as a comparison, is Brighton with around 47. It was before they played Newcastle, so I've not rechecked it, but that's just a comparison across the last 10, 47. Barcelona are at 66. So if you're looking at offsides tonight, I would look at the Barcelona-Bayern Munich game. Harry Kane to be offside potentially, or they've got pace, haven't they? Bayern either side of Harry Kane. I'm not saying Harry Kane is the pace, no way. So they've scored in the last 6 games at home, Brest, and if we look at their overall form, 2 defeats since the start of August. They didn't start the season too well, but they are coming into a bit of form now. So Bayer Leverkusen actually unbeaten away from home this season. That Arsenal game is a friendly. What I'm going to do soon, maybe today, is just put labels and little dividers here, little breaks, so when the competition changes, it'll just tell you what competition it is. It makes it a lot easier to read. And in terms of goal scoring away from home, it's been a while since they failed to score. Atalanta at the end of May, but they are a great team, and look at that away form, absolutely superb. I guess the question is, what are you going to go for in this game? Now, we'll keep that data in mind from the Leverkusen game, and we'll move back to this last 10 table that I showed you on yesterday's video, debuted on yesterday's video. And we can see here now I'm looking at shots on target across the last 10 games, and Celtic are 5th with 72, and they're in good company there. So let's take a look at Celtic's results, and what you can do is click results and go to BTTS here, and then it'll colour code it for you based on BTTS. So now these games are all green because BTTS landed, so that is 5 of the last 6 games. If we look at the away form, the last couple of games, of course, Scotland, it's, there are some teams that can't really lay a glove on Celtic, if we're being honest. 3-4 against City in pre-season, 4-1 against Chelsea in pre-season as well. 5 of the last 6. Atalanta at home, 4 of the last 5. 0-0 against Arsenal, which they'll be happy with in terms of the result. A point against Arsenal, that is not bad at all. What do you think? Over 2.5 goals in all of those games as well, apart from the Arsenal game, the 5 that we're looking at. You can do the same thing for over 2.5 goals. There's a lot more green there, isn't there? If we go to all, there's a lot more green at home. And for Celtic, it might be the better play. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. So BTTS at 1.61, we will add that to our slip and then evaluate at the end. Now this could be a very fun game indeed. We can just see here, last 25, I'm looking at home form against away form. Benfica don't concede many, 0.71 per game, but they've scored 51 goals. If we look at their overall form, it's still pretty good. They are dominant in Portugal and likewise in Holland for Feyenoord. Away from home, 4.07 goals on average. That's scored and conceded, but as you can see, they are scoring the majority of them, 2.5 per game. There hasn't been a 0-0 for Benfica in this period at home. Clean sheets lower for Feyenoord, 41% for Benfica. But again, it's not every week that you play teams like Feyenoord or you play teams from the Champions League. And Feyenoord, I think they've started with a defeat and a victory. Yeah, victory against Girona in the second game, but 4-0 defeat in the first game. And for Benfica, 2 wins out of 2. 4-0 in the previous home game against Atletico Madrid. So across the last 10 games, Benfica have conceded just 20 corners Only Sporting and Bayern Munich can better this. Look at that, Bayern Munich, 13 corners across the last 10 games conceded. I think they played Leverkusen, didn't they, at the weekend, 1-1. I think Leverkusen had 2 corners all game. So that could be something we look at for the double, potentially, Benfica to have the most corners. Let's take a look at the odds and see what is happening. Yeah, I mean, the bookies are wise to it, aren't they? Team to get the most corners, Benfica, 1.5. Now, I'm just taking a look at the referee to see if there's anything that stands out. It is a Turkish referee. If we look at his Champions League record so far, 12 cards across 2 games. Real Madrid and Salzburg, he officiated. And his combined form looks pretty good for second half cards and both teams to get carded, 82.61%. So most corners at Benfica, very impressive team at the moment, the way they're playing. And the 4-0 victory in the previous Champions League game against Atletico Madrid has not gone unnoticed by the bookmakers, given some of the odds that are on offer here. Most corners Benfica, both teams to receive a card, and over 1.5 goals. And then Atalanta Celtic, BTTS 1.61. Let me know what you think about this double here. That is the first double I'm going to put together. Now let's have a look at some of the other fixtures. In this segment, we are going to look at the player props tool, and we're going to look at some potential players for potential selections. If you've not used this tool, just go to oddalerts.com. You'll see a link at the top of the homepage, and you can check this out. It lets you filter through hundreds of thousands of players in a matter of seconds. And what we're going to do is search for Liverpool. And we can see Leipzig versus Liverpool. This won't be an easy game. And a bit of a trend as well with some of these games. Look at, Liverpool away at Leipzig, and then they're away at Arsenal, at the weekend. And for Barcelona, they're hosting Bayern Munich tonight. And then at the weekend, they've got the small matter of the El Clásico. So we click on to the game, and by default, it's going to show us last 20 games and the goals on average. Mo Salah, absolute machine. No doubt he'll do something against Arsenal as well. He's just such a good player. He's just, when people hype up players like Cole Palmer and other players, Cole Palmer's good. He's still very young. But then you just look at someone like Salah, who just does it. He just does it all the time, every game. He's just consistent in the big games. A goal and an assist the other day against Chelsea. Just incredible. Sesko is the one to watch for sure. If you're looking at Leipzig players, let's have a look at the last 10 games. And we will filter for total shots, shall we? Total shots, there it is. And we see Openda, good player, had a good game against Man City in their last meeting. Salah, of course, 25 shots in his last 9 games. And Sesko, Chiesa, don't think he's quite ready. Gakpo, Simon's good player. Good team, to be fair, Leipzig. Will they score against Liverpool? What will the score be here? Nunez expected to play in this game. Diego Jota went off with looked like maybe a broken rib or a cracked rib or a bruised rib. I'm no physio. But Nunez, for me, shot on target potentially, or goal or assist. He looked actually really good against Chelsea. I love his energy. I love his work rate. And I think he is being coached differently under Slot than he was to Klopp. Just feels like there's a different version of Darwin Nunez appearing for Liverpool this season. And once he gets a run in the team and starts banging in goals, yeah, he's going to be some player. He's going to fly. Now, for any player that you find using this tool, you can click on the person icon here and you can just see their data. We can look at the fixtures that he's played. We can see that he came on, played 60 minutes against Chelsea. You can see that he's not scored since the Bournemouth game, but he is having shots on target in the majority of games, you would say. So for Nunez, big game this. Any game that he starts is a big game, a chance for him to show Slot what he can do. So Nunez 1.5 to have a shot on target. What do you think about that one? Jota 1.72, but it's tricky, isn't it? Diaz didn't start, by the way. Diaz did not start against Chelsea, so will he come into this one? Diaz is also always a good option coming in off that left side. I am going to go with Nunez for this one, and we will mix up the players here across the Champions League. So let's take a look at some other selections. So for Leipzig, I'm just checking out some of the data here. For Leipzig, they have not played at home since the last Champions League game. This weekend just gone, they were away, and the weekend before that, they were also away, 2 clean sheets. Juventus came and scored 3 but before that, 2 clean sheets are a good team. As you can see here, they are a pretty good team. Is there any recent meetings? There is 5-0 to Liverpool in 2022, 2021, 2-0, 2-0. So 3 meetings in recent history since 2021. BTTS no in every game and Liverpool victory in every game. And 1.83, the bookies clearly expecting it. Liverpool away from home under Slot. They beat Palace, they beat Wolves, they beat Milan. That was a good result for them. They beat Manchester United. They are scoring 2 or more in the majority of their games. And I think with this one, we've done our sensible bet builder, right? So now let's have a little bit of fun with this one. I think we're going to go over 2.5 goals, and then we're going to leave that game. And then we're going to go to Barcelona against Bayern Munich. Let's get Brest out of the way. Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and this is a very interesting game. As I said, for many reasons, Barcelona with El Clásico. That sounded Japanese, not Spanish. El Clásico. I don't know how to do a Spanish accent. Shots on target, Lewandowski, 1.2. It's not worth it. Rafinha's also playing very well. Fernan Torres playing very well. What I would like to do is score or assist. Lewandowski, 1.57 to score or assist is not great, especially when you're playing a team that is of the quality of Bayern Munich. Now, Hansi Flick was Bayern Munich manager. Will he take it easy on Bayern Munich? You know, if they go 2 up or something, will he not want to inflict too much pain? Lamine Yamal to get an assist or a goal over evens. So Yamal comes into this with 6 shots in his last game and an assist. He hasn't scored since that defeat where he came on and actually scored and had 3 shots. He's in good form this season, of course. He's going to win the Golden Boy award, the Golden Ball, whatever it's called, the Golden Boy. The best young player in the world, basically. He's going to win it. 17 years old. If we are going for a bit of an outlandish one here, let's do it. Lamine Yamal to score or assist. This gets us to 4s. Let's aim a little bit higher, shall we? Inter Milan facing Young Boys as well, and we can see if we're looking at total shots, it is actually a player from Young Boys, Silver Granuvla, who is top of the pile, 24 in 10, and then Lautaro Martinez, of course, at the top. Thuram, I absolutely despise coming up against this guy on EAFC. I don't know if any of you play EAFC, but when you come up against this player, it's painful. You just can't get the ball off him. It's not fun at all, and he's so fast. He's like a cheat code. It's like Adriano on the old Pro Evolution games. But he's in good form. Last 20 games, 13 starts, 8 goals. He played 90 minutes against Roma, big win against Roma for Inter at the weekend, and he scored a hat-trick in the game before the international break, coming off after 68 minutes. His work was done. Inter Milan, not much value there, so I've jumped to City. Now I'm gravitating towards Foden, score or assist. We had it in the last round, it came in. And I'm gravitating towards Foden. I want to pick Doku. I do want to pick Doku. So what I'll say to you is, let's go Doku. But if you see that he's not playing, what we can do is swap it out for Foden, which takes us to 6. So it's a combination of these two. So we'll go with Doku for now, because I think if he plays, it's a decent play. Nunez to have a shot on target, over 2 goals in the Liverpool game, and then we are going with a double for the score or assist, which takes this up as a treble to 7.08. Let me know what you think about this one. We've got Doku and we've got Lamine Yamal. And again, this is more of a extravagant, for fun, sort of non-sensible bet builder, whereas the first one we put together was very much a data-driven, sensible bet builder. So I will love you and leave you. Let me know if you've enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you want to enter the draw to win Odd Alerts Pro. Again, with the unintentional rhyming. So this is the bet slip generator. If you've not seen it before, it does what it says on the tin. A big update is coming to it. Showed you the the inner workings of it yesterday. You can adjust your settings here. So what I'm looking at the minute is we've got over 2.5 goals. I'm going to take that off. We're going to put on over 1.5 goals, and we're going to put on home wins as well. Next 5 days, value bets only, and then we hit get, and what it'll do is go away and find me some games. And you can see Porto is a value bet. Porto to beat Hoffenheim in the Europa League tomorrow, and we've got Rangers as well. That's over 1.5 goals suggested there. So if you want to win access to this and all the other features of Odd Alerts Pro. Just comment down below which English team you think will get the furthest in this year's Champions League campaign. And you can use this, oddalerts.com. You'll see a button near the top to take you directly to this tool. And here is the Telegram channel as well, which is going to be an automated feed of generations from this tool, and you can follow along. There's about 3,000 people in there now, and there's 16,000 of you subscribed on YouTube. And if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you hit subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I will see you in the next one.